Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Kumar and I welcome you all to my video series where we are covering the syllabus of AWS SAA. We have reached to part number 8 now. So in this particular specific session, I will be talking about one thing, that is IAM. So we will be covering about understanding IAM basic, and there we will do some practical, like how to create group, how to assign any policy to the group, then how to add any user into the group, how to create user account. So it is going to cover actually the basic of IAM. Basically, IAM will be a separate topic where we will be spending whole 1 or 2 sessions related to it, where we will be going much more in a deep. But this today's session is just to have a basic part of IAM, so that the next practicals whatever we are going to perform related to a storage, there you will be having already the concept that how to create user account, how to have the group and all, so that you will be able to perform the practical related to a storage. So let's begin. So basically, we will be today spending our time on the AWS console itself. So let me start here. I go to any of my browser and I will be logging in with my AWS Azure account, AWS Amazon account. So I'm going to look for aws.amazon.com. That's the main site of Amazon Web Service AWS, and I will be logging in here with one of my user account which I created with a valid email address, with valid mobile number, and with valid credit card or debit card details. So very simply, I need to just click on sign in to the console. When I click on it, it may ask the email ID and password for the user account which I have created. So here you see it asks you one more option here, that are you a root user or you are a IAM user. IAM user means the other user. That is what we are going to create today. So if you click on IAM user, you also need one more thing, that is account ID. So as of now we have not discussed those things. So let me continue with the root user. Root user is the most powerful user of the AWS service which you have received while after creating the account or after signing up. So I'm logging with the root user account with my user ID. Now it is going to ask me for the password. So if I type here the password, so here you see I'm right now logging with my user ID, that is the name is saipali.cloud1, and here I have already mentioned that this one shows your region, so you can choose any region wherever you want to start or run your regional services. Like if you want to make an EC2, if you want to have create maybe a bucket for S3, so those tasks before you start the service, before you create the service, you need to choose the region, because those are region specific services. As of now, what we are going to do is we are going to today talk about the IAM. So as I mentioned earlier, IAM is a global service, so you don't need to worry about which region right now it is selected, because once you go for the IAM service, it's already going to go for the global. So you can scroll down a bit and you can look in the list of all services, go to the security, identity and compliance. There you will be already going to get IAM there. This is what we are going to talk today, IAM. So either you can go by this way, or either if you have ever visited, it will be showing you here in the recently visited services, or either you want to search it, you can also go here and type for IAM and it will be there. So you can click on it. So now this is how it has opened the IAM management console. Here from you will be able to see some details related to IAM. So here it's telling me welcome to identity and access management, that is IAM. And here are the some things which we are going to do inside, like we will be able to see the access management where we have groups, user, roles, policy, identity provider, account setting, like that. So here from we can see that as of now there is a 0 user account created by me. The roles are 2, but those are the default roles actually. If I click on the roles, you will be able to see there are 2 roles already created, but those are created already when I signed up. That are the AWS service support. So this is these 2 actually roles assigned to my root user account with which I am logging right now. But you have option of creating a role from there. So let me go back to the dashboard again of IAM. Here we see right now we have 0 groups, and these are some of the options related to security status. Like the first security status is talking about delete your root access key. What does it mean that? Because right now I'm logging with the root user account, and if you again create maybe another user account and you want to not give root access permission, because root means he will be having full privilege to do anything. So that's why it is telling that delete your AWS root account access key, because they provide unrestricted access. There will be no any limit, so he can do anything to your AWS resource. So instead using that, use IAM user access key or temporary security credential. That's the first condition. Second is activate your MFA. MFA is nothing else, it is a multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication means for every user account you can enable that service, activate the MFA, meaning that a user whoever willing to log in or whoever you will be creating, there you have to implement, you have to have MFA enabled there. MFA means multiple factor authentication. Like right now if you log into Gmail, what do you need? You need only 2 things, that is your email ID and password. But if you enable multi-factor authentication means only the password will not be working, that is only single authentication. Multi authentication means multiple things will be needed. Generally if I talk about a term, you maybe you have heard about it, or maybe if you go for any security training, you will heard about a term known as HAK. H A and K. This is the security related term. So this HAK we generally implement for any of the user to have the multi-factor authentication. What does it mean? That every user should have something. H means have, A means are, and K means no. Every user who want to use your service or who will be created there, they should have something for their identity, they should be something or are something, and they should know something. For example, have example is like, for example, if you go to withdraw money from the ATM, what do you have with you? You generally have a debit card, you generally have a credit card. So card is something which you have, that shows your identity. When you withdraw the money, you have a card. Those who have a card, they can only withdraw the money. First condition. R means something which you are. You are means something like maybe your fingerprint, maybe your face, maybe your eye retina, maybe your iris. So anything which you are, which is inside your body. Generally we talk about A means here it is going to be anything which is with you, not with you in the sense of have, but it is something within your body, like your eye, with your voice, your face, something like that. And K represents here which you know. For example, if you are using ATM card, so what you know, that is password. So you supposed to be having a card and knowing the password. This is the 2 things, then only you can withdraw the money. Sometimes they may also ask you, like in India, if you go to withdraw the money with the Aadhaar card. So what is Aadhaar card is actually, it's like a national ID for some of the country. So you should be having Aadhaar card. In Aadhaar card, they have taken already your fingerprint. So fingerprint is A. And what you supposed to know? You supposed to know the password. So by having these 3 things, then only you will be able to withdraw the money, or you will be able to get your money. So this is giving what? Multi-factor authentication. Single factor means just maybe you are typing a password and you are accessing the service, that is just single factor authentication. Multi-factor means multiple things will be checked as a credential and then only you will be allowed to perform any task. So that is what it is talking about. You should activate MFA on your root account so that you can stop non-repudiation, or you can protect any kind of service to be compromised by any of the attacker or hacker. Then it is talking about create any individual IAM user, so that we are going to do today. We will be creating IAM user account today, and then assign some permission to them. Use some group, and group you assign some permission, so that is also we are going to do today. And then apply an IAM password policy. So those are the advanced level which we will be covering when we will go for the IAM topic itself. As I said, today we are just having a IAM intro, basic, and some practice of it. But we will be talking again IAM. There will be separate few sessions, 1 or 2 sessions related to only IAM. After completing our storage topic, after completing our EC2 and EBS topic, we will be again coming back to the IAM. So today we are just learning basic, so that we will be able to do the practice of a storage, we will be able to do the practice of EC2 or EBS. That's why we are here. So let's start now. Let us start first thing, that is IAM user sign in link. Any IAM user you are going to create, any IAM user you are going to make, they will not be logging in with this URL. This is the URL only will be used to log in by the root user. For example, I have my company and my company name is, I'm just going to write here in my notepad some information. So maybe I have a company and my company name is, let's say that my company name is Saurav Kumar Limited. Maybe this is the company name I have. So for this company, I have got a AWS cloud service. I am a root user. So root user is having one user account. For example, root is having user account like here you can see the root user account is saipali dot cloud1 at gmail.com or something like that. So who is it? It is a root user account. It can do anything. It has the full privilege. But that root user I'm not going to give to my employee, even if it is IT person. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to create some of the IAM users. What I am going to create IAM user, where we will be giving them some permission. So let's assume that in my company I have some employee, their name are like this. Maybe their name is John, maybe their name is Kalib, maybe their name is Sumit, maybe their name is Jack, like that. So these are some of maybe my employees. For them, what I need to do, I have to create an user account for them so that they can log into my cloud, and maybe they are IT person, so they will be having some permission, they will be having some authentication or authorization what they can perform. So up to now, I hope everything is clear for everybody. So now we are moving to create this user account and assign them some permission. But for that, before that, what one more thing I need is, I need to have some groups. All of you have already completed or you know already about Windows Server. So in Windows Server also we create group and we assign some policy or we define some permission to the group, and whoever is the member of that group, they will be having that a specific kind of permission. So here also I will be creating some group. Maybe I will create one group for the let's say that I will give them name as a IT admins, and one group maybe I will create, let's say that I will give one group name IT admin, So here I will keep my all user, those who belongs to my IT department, and they will be administrator. Then maybe I will also create one group for my, let's say that my sales employee, just maybe sales. So these are the two groups I am going to create. IM admin, sorry, IT admin and sales. These are the two groups I will be creating, and I have some user account here. So maybe in IT admin group, I am going to keep some of the user account. So if I talk about John user account, I will keep it into the IT admin group. Then for the Kalib, I will keep him in the sales group. Maybe for Sumit, I will keep him also in IT admin. For Jack, maybe I will keep him also in sales. So this is the task we are going to perform as a practical for today lesson. So very first thing I am going to do is, before even I do this all, I have an option, because to access this root user, what actually URL he uses. This guy uses URL aws.amazon.com. But for other users, whoever I will create, they are not going to use this same URL. For them, I can give a specific URL for them. Let me just a bit, I will reduce the font size. So I hope now it's visible to all of you. This is what I am going to do today. So for this is my company name. In this company, this is a root user account. He will be using this URL to log in. But for others, I have to create a specific URL. So that URL is nothing else. It is here mentioned. You see, this is the URL they can log in. If you copy it, and if you use any other browser, because in this browser I am already logged in with the root user, so I go to either any other browser, or maybe I use the Ignito tab here. I paste it and I hit enter. You can see now it is going to give me a sign in console, sign in page, where from I will be able to sign in. But here from who will be signing in, those who is IAM user. And here you see this is the account ID is for my company. This account ID is auto generated and it has given to me when I sign up with this email ID. So do you like to have this kind of URL which will be very hard to remember, or do you want to have a name which can be easy to remember? What name you want to have? Do you want to have a number like this kind of URL? So will it be easy for you to go to new tab and type that number.signin.aws.amazon.com/console? Or do you want to have a better name which can be easy to remember? So that option you can do it from here, customize. So let's do it. Go to the customize, and here it asks you to set alias name. If you guys have finished about DNS server, you know what does it mean of alias name or CNAME, canonical name or common name we call it. So I am also going to give maybe any CNAME. Let's say that I will give my company name itself like a CNAME. So it will be Saurav K Limited. Keep in your mind this alias name, you have to keep something which has not been used by anybody worldwide. Otherwise it will not accept. Like the way when you create any email account, will you be able to use the same email ID, the one which I have already used or somebody else has used? Answer is no. Similarly, this is something which is going to be unique in your URL. Only you will be having it this in the URL. So that's why it's supposed to be unique. It should be something which is not being used already by anybody in the world. So let me try with this name, and I click on yes, create. So if it will be accepted, it is going to create, and now my URL is easy sauravklimited.signin.aws.amazon.com/console. Now I can keep a copy of it and let me keep it somewhere in my notepad, that for the other user which I am going to create, they will be using this URL. So for example, if John want to log in to AWS, they will be using this URL, not this aws.amazon.com. This is a customized URL for my company only. sauravklimited.signin.aws.amazon.com/console. I can also show you here. So if I copy it and I go to my incognito window here, I paste it here. So that is my specific URL, which is going to allow me to log in here to my company only. Account ID is Saurabh K Limited. I just will type John or Kali, whatever user I will create with the password, and then I will be able to sign in. So now, up to now, I think it's okay for all of you that this one what we did, we have created a customized URL or a sign in link for my employee, for my users. Now it's time to go to create the group. So let's go to groups. Right now there is no any group is, so I can go to create new group. Here you are going to give the name of the group which you want to create. So if I go to my notepad, what is the group I want to maybe create here? So here you see the group which I want to create is actually the name is IT-admin. So I'm going to type here the name IT-admin. Then you go to next step. Now it is asking me attach any policy with this group. As I said, policy we are generally going to use or attach with the group itself, so that next time when you will create a new user account, like our task is also there, no, you see, if you see here, we have here John, we have here Sumit. So if I want to give them same kind of policy, the better idea is I create a group IT admin, I set a policy here, and when I will create John, when I will create Sumit, I will just add them into this group, so they will already have that same policy implemented there. So that's why I am going to choose the policy from here. Maybe what I want to make them is, I want to give them, for this group, I want to give them permission as a EC2 administrator. Meaning that I want to make all my employee who belongs to the group IT admin, they will be able to do anything related to EC2 service. They can create new EC2 instance, they can delete instance, they can start instance, they can do whatever they want with the EC2, because I am going to make them EC2 administrator. Is it okay, guys? So I am just continuing with it. So I am going to choose here the policy related to EC2. So either you scroll down and look for any policy related to EC2. These are the predefined policy. Predefined means it is already created. But later on in the topic of IAM, I will also show you how to make your own custom policy also. As of now, we are just going to use the predefined policy. So here you see there is a policy Amazon EC2 full access. Do you want to give full access to this group? Then you choose this one. If you want to give only read only permission to this group, you will choose Amazon EC2 read only access. So what you want to give? As per our plan, I wanted to make them IT administrator, means I want to give them full permission. So let me choose this one. And then I go with the next step. If you want to also give him some other permission, you can choose from here. Do you want to give them permission for administrator access, anything? Or do you want to give them permission for S3? You can choose what policy you want to allow them, and then go with the next step. So for me, I have only given one policy, that is Amazon EC2 full access. That's the policy I have assigned for the group name IT admin. Just final step is click on create group. So now my group has been created. The name is IT admin. Right now, how many user accounts are there inside? 0. When it was created, so this is the date and time when I created this user account. So I hope it's clear to you all that we are done with this task. We have created already a group where we have given the EC2 admin permission. Now I'm going to make the second group. It will be a revision for us also, plus we are also able to make a new group with the new permission maybe. So let's go to now create new group. One more time I'm repeating. So this time my group name is going to be sales. For the sales people, maybe in the policy I want to maybe only give them let's say that read permission for my S3, so that whatever data is kept on S3 storage, they will be able to read it, they will be able to use it only. So you can search for S3 related policy, or either you can just type here S3. So here is the S3 related policy we have. S3 full access or read only access. What you want to give to your sales group, you can decide. Maybe for sales I want to give only read access, so I say read only access. Then I go to next. So here the group name I have decided is sales. The policy I have assigned is Amazon S3 read only access. Maybe if I want to also give them read only permission for the instance, EC2 instance, so I can go back in the policy list. I can also look for EC2 and I give them EC2 related permission. So here if you see EC2 full access, we have EC2 container, EC2 so what you want to give, you can again choose from here. As of now, let me just go with only one permission. Go with next. So this is the name of group. This is the permission I have given. Only he can read the data which is stored on S3. I have not given him permission to keep data. I have not given the permission of creating any new bucket or putting any new folder. What permission I have given? Only read permission. Go with the create group. So this way we have created two groups. One is IT admin, one is sales. For IT admin, I have made them EC2 administrator. They can do anything with EC2 service. For sales, I have made them only what they can do. They have S3 read only permission. So this is the task we have finished up to now. These three tasks we have finished up to now. We have created a customized URL or login link. We have created two groups, IT admin and sales. IT admin is having permission of EC2 administration, or you can say here, just call it like EC2 full access. And then this one I gave S3 read only permission. Now it's time to create the user account. Now it's time to create the user account. So let's go for that. Now we are moving to the next step. So let's try to create the user account now. Creating user account, where we are going to go back. So let's go first to the dashboard. You see here, it is showing me that you guys have created two groups, and right now there are how many users are 0. If you go to any of the groups also, you will be able to see right now 0 users are added to these groups. So let me go back and I go to users now. In the user, I have a button of adding an user account. So click on add user. Here it asks you to type the username. So now, what are the username I need to create? Have a look on it. We need to create username. Those are John, Caleb, like that. So let me add here the name, that is John. Do you want to create all other user also at the same time? Then you will click on this plus button and you can add the another name also. Maybe for example I want to, or let me first go with the only one at a time this time. Next time I'm going to repeat with the creating multiple users at a time. So I go with only one user account, John. Now second question, that select AWS access type. So there are two options you are getting. As I promised earlier that we are already going to have a separate few sessions, 1 or 2 sessions only related to IAM. There we will discuss much more detail and deep. But because this option is here, so let me just tell you what is the difference in these two options. One option says that the user which you are creating, do you want to give them access type of programmatic access? In a layman language, I can tell you that, do you want this John user to access the services or to log into this AWS with the help of any program? Like if he is a developer, he may use AWS API, he may use other development tool, or maybe if he is an expert, he can use CLI, he can use SDK, like that, to access the console. Or if he is a new user, or maybe you just want to give them management console, like the way we are right now login, we are having a management console. So in this situation, you will be giving this option. For this, you don't need any specific program or any specific tool. You can simply go to the URL and you can access, you can log in there. So this is because I am creating, for as of now, I will be going with the AWS management console access, not with the help of any program. So I am choosing the second option, AWS management console access, means the John can access or can log in with the help of AWS management console. So I choose this option. When you choose this option, it is telling that it will be for this user account. Obviously there has to be a password. So do you want to have a auto generated password? So the AWS will itself generate a password for this user account, or do you want to have a custom password? It's up to you. For me, I will go with the custom. I want to create maybe by my side. So I just type any password here. Keep in your mind, this password should be complex password. So there should be a capital letter, there should be a small letter, there should be some numeric, there should be some symbol, something like that. And then the last option, it says that, do you want to have this user option to reset or create a new password at the next sign in? So generally, if you are working in any enterprise company, you will be leaving it checkout and then you will go for the next. Because let's say that I am a root user, or maybe I am IT professional, so I am creating an user account. For which user account? For the guy John. So then who am I and why I should know the password of John user account? So what I am going to do is, I am just creating John with a password, but this password will be valid only till the time he go for the first time login. Once he log in for the first time, he will be prompted immediately to change his password, and whatever password he will change, I will not be knowing it, so that the user account will be more secure. That's why in enterprise level, when you are working for a company, you will leave always this check on and you will go with next. So whenever John, because after creating this user account, you are going to share this information with the John, that hello John, your username is this, your password is this. But once he go to login, once he type that username and password, he will be prompted to change his password immediately. Then only he will be able to log in. And once he change the password, as IT person, me, the one who has created user account, will have no information about what password he has set. But because right now we are just doing some practical, so I can just skip it and I go with next. Now it is asking me what permission you want to give to this user. You have three choices. Do you want to add this user to a group, so that whatever permission you have set to that group, that permission will immediately effected on that user account? Or do you want to copy a permission from any existing user? Maybe you have already created an user account, there you have set some permission. So do you want to copy that permission from the user and apply on this user, John? But right now I cannot use it because I have not created any user with any permission. Or do you want to attach existing policy directly? So you have three options, anyone you can choose. As of now, I am just going with this option because you remember I created already two groups, and each group I have already assigned some of the policy. So I will use this method. So I choose yes, I want to add to the group. Click on this group in which you want to shift this John user account. Here also you get option, you see, of creating a new group. So in case you want to create a separate group for John, you can go with the create group option here also. As of now, I am just selecting this option and I go with the next, that is the tag option. Tag option is optional. Either you can do it also, either you can skip it also. It's optional, it's not mandatory to do it. So what is the tag means? Generally, if you have worked with the Windows server also, when you create an user account, you need to fill some other information like the other details, which department he works, what is his role, such kind of information. Similarly, here also you can add some tag, and the total permission you have to add, that is 50 tag. So just to explain it, let me have here the one example like employee ID. Employee ID, employee ID, that is one tag. Another tag can be maybe department, where does he work. Some other tag can be like what is his role is. So the tag is nothing else, it's a optional thing which you can have, and relevant information you can type, like maybe this guy is having employee ID 1001, he works in IT department, something like this. This is what I mean to tell you related to the tag. This tag is very helpful when you are maybe making any specific policy on the basis of department, on the basis of sections, on the basis of working office. Maybe you have a big company, so some employee work at your Delhi branch, some of them work at the London branch. So you can also have here the branch name, and you can type the branch. So that will be giving you a filtering option in the future. As of now, I can just skip it. I can just maybe go with the 2 for just example, and I go with the next to have the review. So here is the review page. Username I have decided is John. Access type I have given, that is a management console access with a password. The password I have used is custom. Require password reset or not? So I said no, they don't need to reset. Permission boundary is, I haven't set permission boundary yet, but I have already made it part of a group, and that group is IT admin, which has some already permission set. Then the tags I have added, there is employee ID 1001, department IT. So if you see this review is okay, you can just click on create user, and this is how the new user account will be created. Successfully created the user shown below, which user account? John user account has been created. So if you know the John user account email ID, you will just click on send email, and you will send this information to John. He will receive this update on his mail. He will get his username and password. By that he will be able to log in. Or you can also download this CSV, you can attach it, and you can send it there. And where he is going to log in with this his credential, at this link. You remember you have set a custom link, saurabklimited.signing.aws. Now let me show you, let me prove also that either this user account is ready to log in or not. So let me go to maybe any of the new tab, because that tab is already being used by the root. Here I go for the URL, custom URL which you have made. If you remember this, I'm talking about this URL which we have made. This URL will be used by all of the my IAM user. So now I'm going to log in with the John user. Let's see. So when you go to this new URL, you see already there is a account ID is going to be. Let me show you once again. So here you type this URL. You will send this URL link to the employee also. So he will reach there. Then you see already account ID is already added, Saurabh K Limited, because this IAM user works in this company or this account. Then he will just type his username. So his username is John, and then he will type the password, whatever password you have set, and then simply click on sign in. So this way the user which you have in your company will be able to log into the AWS, Amazon AWS. Let me try one more time with the password. Just a moment. So yes, now it is going to log in here, you see, and you will be also able to see which user is logged in right now. So you see it is John at Saurav K Limited. This is the employee name. This is your organization name can be. So John at Saurav K Limited is logging right now, and he can do whatever you have given him permission to do with. So here what we can see, John is already logged in and he is also having almost similar console. He can also go to services. He can see the list of all services, and whatever service he want to maybe run, he will be able to click and run on it. But there is a condition. Condition is, if you remember, when I made this John user account, I kept him as a member of IT admin group, and for IT admin group I have only given permission related to EC2 full access, means he can do anything on EC2 service. Meaning that if I ask you, will he be able to do any task on S3 service? Will he be able to do anything related to IAM service? So answer is going to be no. We have only given him full access right related to EC2 service. No any other service I have granted him. So let's try to verify this also. Let's try to verify that when this guy is logged in, John is logged in, what if he also want to create an user account? Will he be able to create an user account the way root has created? Let's test it. So let us go to the security IAM service. Can he go to IAM service? So John is trying to go to IAM service. Let's see what happened. What you see here on the screen, it's saying that welcome to identity access management. You have reached there to the service, but the condition is we encounter the following error while processing your request. User, whatever user you are logged in with, IAM, user John is not authorized to perform this task or to use this resource. So you see he is not able to perform anything. He is not even getting that dashboard where he can see that how many users are there, how many groups are there, how many permissions you have set and all those kind of things. He is not having even read only permission. That's why he is not able to see these things. But what if this guy, because John is a IT admin, right? He is IT professional. I have hired him maybe as a system administrator. So he is having permission to create any new EC2 instance. He can make a new machine like that. So will he be able to do that task? Let's test it. So he go to the services and he goes to EC2 related service now. If you remember, he had full access on EC2 service. So let's go to EC2 service and let's try to test what he can do there. So you see here, he is having read access at least here because he is able to see how many running instance, volume, key pair and all. Plus if you go to launch instance also, he is able to launch the new instance because he has full permission. He will be able to make a new instance also. He can choose what operating system he want to have. He can also choose what type of, these things we have discussed in the previous sessions, what instance type he want to have. He can choose which specific maybe region he is there. Then he can also choose which specific availability zone he want to work with. And then after choosing this all, he will be able to go for the next thing, review and launch. So this is happening because he is having full access right related to EC2. If there is an instance already created, he will be able to shut it down, he will be able to start it and all those tasks. But what we have seen, what we have observed, if he goes to any other service, like if he goes to S3 storage, what if he want to do something related to the online storage S3? Will he be able to perform any task or not? Let's try to see. So this button looks like highlight, but down you see access denied. He cannot do anything related to S3. So I hope it is very clear for you that the user which we created, John, we made them a member of IT admin, and IT admin group is having only permission of full permission related to EC2 service, not anything else. Let's continue with some other user account. So let us create maybe another user account, that is Kalib. So let's try to create Kalib, and maybe same time let's create Jack also. So Kalib and Jack, they belongs to the same group. So let's create this two user account, Kalib and Jack. How to do that? So let's go to the console, which is being accessed by the root user, saipali.cloud. This is the root user, if you remember. So let's go back to the services. Let's go to the IAM service. This is the root user, he can do anything. Now you see also there is already one user account. If you want to list it, John is there. So now I'm going to add user account. What are the two user I need to create now? Kalib, and what was the name of the another user account? If you check, Kalib and Jack. This is the two user account I'm going to create. They belongs to sales. So Kalib and Jack. This way, now you may have a question that how many number of user account I can create? So there is a very many number of user you will be able to create. If I talk about a limitation, if you are even having a free tier credential, like right now I'm using free tier login credential, I will be able to easily create user account up to 50,000. So you can imagine how many number of user account. Maybe if my company is having 200 employee or 500 employee or 2000 employee also, I will be easily able to make the user account, because the limitation is of 50,000 and there is no any charge to create any user account. User account is not something like a consuming any resource of the cloud service provider. So there is no charge of creating any user account or groups or setting permission. Charges they ask you when you are using anything as a physical resource. For example, if you make EC2 instance, if you use a storage, those things they occupy the physical resource, that's why they charge for it. But creating user account, creating group, these are not chargeable, and they have only the limit for 50,000. But in case if you need more than that, you can separately send an email to Amazon with your specific query, and they may grant you also to go beyond that. They may also grant you to have even user more than 50,000. So let us continue with this two user account right now, Kalib and Jack. I also give them AWS management console. Maybe I want to have the same password for them, so I can set from here whatever password I want to set for them. Then I don't want them to change the password when they log in for first time. Go for next. It's again asking about the permission. So you see, I want them to be working in the sales group, so they will be having read only permission related to S3. I go to next, tagging about them, so I can just add the employee ID or something like that. But if you are making multiple users at the same time, that will be a matter. You will not be able to add employee ID from here, because they will have separate different employee ID. But maybe if you talk about something like, let's say, department, yes, department can be added here, like that they all works in department of sales team. That's their maybe department name. Go with the next for review. So here you have set with it, you have created two users, Kalib and Jack. Go with the next. So successfully two user accounts has been created, Kalib and Jack. You can close it. You can check also in the user list. You have Kalib, Jack, John. Now this time let's try to log in with the Kalib, and we see will he be able to also launch the EC2 instance or not. So let's do that. Let's do this practical. So John is there. John is not able to do anything on S3 bucket, but he was able to launch the instance. Now let me go for the another incognito tab. Here maybe I try to log in with the Kalib user account. So here you see account ID has been taken already, so I go with the Kalib password of this Kalib user account I type here. Click on sign in. So this time I have logged in with the Kalib user account, Kalib at Saurav K Limited, and let's see what he can do, what kind of permission he is having. So if he goes to services, can he launch the new instance? Let's check. He goes to EC2, there he goes to launch instance. Up to now maybe you will be thinking that he is going to launch really, so let's try to go for it. And then you see, as soon as I selected any to continue with, it is telling me you are not authorized to perform this operation, meaning that Kalib user account is not able to have run any new launch instance or delete instance or anything. He is not having permission to do so. So is it having permission to create any new user account? What if we go to IAM service? So if we go to IAM service also, you see he is having no rights to do this, perform any task related to IAM service. Now will he be able to do the view of S3 storage? Let's try to see on it. And that's the permission we have given them, read only permission, but he is not able to create. But what he can do, he can read. So you see it is able to read. That's why it is telling you don't have any bucket. If there will be a bucket, it will be able to read them, it will be able to use them, but he will not be able to add any new thing. He will not be able to create any new folder or something. He just having read only permission. You can compare here, like if I keep this one in a one side and maybe I keep this one which I was logged in before. Actually it is going to give me a thing related because I'm logged in with the Kalib also. But anyway, I can just show you as a comparison that you see this guy was getting an error when he went to the this option of S3 bucket, but this one is not getting error because this one has read only permission for S3 services. This one has no any read permission also for the S3. So I hope it is clear to you all how the user account is working here. Same it is going to happen with the Jack also. Same if you want to create a specific user account for the fourth one. Let me go with it. So we are done with creating John, done with Kalib, done with Jack. Let's finish with also Sumit. So how do we do that? Let's go through here. Let's try to create a new user account with the name Sumit. Go with console management. Go with the custom password. Let's set any password here. Go with next permission. You can put them directly into the member of the group also, or you can also copy permission from existing group, but that's not the right. For me, I will not recommend, but it is possible. So you can choose what option you want to go with. Let me, if you want to just see how it is going to work, I can show you from here. So go to the copy permission from existing user, and if you remember what permission I want to copy of which user. So for example, here if you see, Sumit is also belongs to IT admin. So there is a John user who has already that permission. So I can go to the John user. Next, I can put some tag related to that and then review. And finally, you see he is already also become the member of group because I have copied the permission and everything from the John user. Create this user. Successful, Sumit is created. So now if you go to the user list, you have all those 4 user account, their relevant group and their password, age, last activity. So Kalib has logged in today, Jack has never logged in, John has logged in today, Sumit has never logged in. So this way we will be able to see. If you go to even groups also, you will be able to see from there. IT admin group is having 2 users inside, sales group is having 2 users inside. You can check from here also. Go to IT admin. You can see John and Sumit are the user who belongs to this group. You can remove them from here. So this way we have seen how to create the user account, how to put them or make them a member of any group. If you want to remove them also, you can see here. So maybe Sumit, I don't want to keep it in the IT admin group, so I can remove from here. So maybe my condition is like this: Sumit user should not belongs to IT. I want to shift him maybe to the sales. So what I did, I first went to this management. I removed from that IT admin group. Sumit has been removed now. Now I go to that user list. Go to the Sumit user and go to the group list. You see he doesn't belongs to any specific group right now. So go to add user to the any specific group. Which group you want to add him? Maybe to the sales. Add to the group. So now he is member of sales. And because he is member of sales, he will have the Amazon S3 read-only access. So this way we can work with the user, we can work with the group, we can work with the tag. What are the tags you have given to this user? You can check from here. Like if I talk about any other user account, let's say that about John. If I go to John user account, and if I go to check the tag, there are two tags I have: employee ID and department. Security credential also you can check from here. Console password is enabled. MFA has not been assigned it. MFA again, multi-factor authentication. Signing certificate is right now none. So all other informations are there, which we will be discussing later on when we will go for the much more detail in the IAM. Access advisors related details you will be able to see from here, relevant to that specific user, what he has, what he can do. So now again I go back to the dashboard. I can see I have 4 users, I have 2 groups, I have still 2 roles that we have not created any other, but you see these 2 options we did today. If you want to remove any user account, so let me also show that one. So I go to maybe first removing the groups, select the groups, group action, delete the group. You can change the group name also by group action, edit group name, add users to group, remove users from the group, task can be done. Now we go to users. I want to delete these all users account, for example. So I can choose delete users. Yes, delete. Now what I did also today, that is I made this customize signing link. If I want to go back to default, I can go to customize and delete this one also. So now it has gone back to the default signing link. I deleted all my user, I deleted all my groups, like that. So whatever practical we perform today, I finish them with the deleting also. So that's how I have shown you both creating user and deleting user, creating group, deleting group, assigning permission to the group, adding any user to any specific group. These are the things which what we have covered, what we have finished in this lesson up to now. So now let me go back to my PPT here. So as I promised, we are going to cover these things. So I have fulfilled my promise. I talked about IAM basic. I gone with the practicing of creating group, adding policy, adding or creating or deleting user account. So I took actually some of the scenario like this. I have gone with some root user. Then I created some user account with the EC2 admin. I created some user account like C with the Amazon S3 read only. Like I was having Sumit, I was having Kalib, like those. So that was all about here. Now I'm moving to the question answer section of it. So let's go to the first question here. The first question is, can we create multiple users at a time in AWS IAM? Meaning that when you are creating new user account, when you have the wizard where you type the username to create the user account, will you be able to add multiple name there? Yes or no? Write down the answer in the chat box or in the comment box. Then the next question is, can a root user customize IAM user sign-in link? Can a root user can give or make a customized IAM user sign-in link rather than having the default one? So go with that answer. Then the third question comes that, what are the name of two AWS access type? Meaning that when you are creating a new user account for AWS, you must set the access type. So what are the name of two access type, among which you are going to choose one, that which option the user will be using to access his account or log in with his account? What are the name of two access point there, access type? Then the question number 4 to all goes that, can a root user define a specific region for a new user account? For example, if you are a root user, so when you are creating a new user account, can you specify, can you define that this user I am creating in this specific region? Is it possible? So give me the answer in yes or no for the question number 4. And then the final last question for today's lesson is, while creating new user account, can we copy permissions from existing user account? For example, if you have already created one user account where you have already set some permission, so will you be able to copy those permission from existing account and you will be able to apply on the new account? Yes or no? Write the answer in yes or no in the comment box or in the chat box. So that was all in this video. That was all in this session. I hope this video was informative enough for you all, and I would like to thank you for watching.